Hey everybody, we're back from a great match previously here. We've brought a couple more people in. I know Matterall's here with us, right, still?
Hey, how are you?
That's excellent. That's excellent. So we just saw a very long match, right? How was that? What does everybody think about that one?
I thought it was fun to watch. Fun as hell.
I thought it was awesome myself, too.
Very good, very good. I think it was very close at the start. But just managed to lock down the tackle, and they managed to clutch the win very quickly.
Yeah, folks, that's Buff Fresh. He's come in here with us, too, for a little commentating as well. So, Matterall, what'd you think of that one?
Well, it's hard to say. I didn't actually see most of it because I was managing fighting here in MTech O, even though it's very slow. There's instructions being given out. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Who was that? Was that Jay Amazingness, or was that the fight before?
No, that one was Jay for sure, and then we also have Wild as well from Bomberwolf. You might remember Wild because he's been kind of visiting MTACO recently.
Oh, in what capacity?
In a bomber normally.
Yeah, it was Wild. It was the wildly inappropriate team and the Butts Incorporated team from Jay.
Yep, and is that Yella or Kyla?
This is Kyla.
Kyla, so that's Kyla in the room here with us as well. Yeah, that Navy Brutix just didn't want to die, did it?
No, Ferritos was just
do.
hanging. Ferritos was just hanging on there at like 2% structure for a long time.
In the Bomberwolf comms, we were definitely debating if they can get that Brudix down, they can clutch it. They can clutch it as long as they get that Brudix down. But he tanks so well right up until the end.
So with this debate in Bomberwolf, how many of you were in channel?
All of us.
All of you. So how many was that roughly?
Our team 7.
Right. So 7. I kind of just guessing that must be a mass debate then.
Oh, dear.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I'll tell you what. I really thought
I missed
that
you, Moomin.
Butts Incorporated, I thought was done when they lost their lodging. It just didn't happen. It's just amazing that they held on.
Yeah, there again, it was a hugely interesting, match. They went in with one player less. There was they were 1 point short on both teams, which was interesting. But normally, just having that pilot less can be quite damaging to a team. You think about it, even on like a frigate, you can be looking at 4 mid slots. So yeah, they might kind of put in a prop mod, but there's control options there as well that they lost. So but they still came out and won.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I know.
And Hippojax is saying that their Balgorn pilot was amazing too, and that was pretty good as well. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. You saw him switching targets, definitely draining the capacitor of the Logi and then everybody else.
So that's kind of the wrap on that one. Anybody else got any last thoughts on that one before we start talking about the next match?
I'm eager to get to the next one because this is one that I'm quite looking forward to, I have to say.
All right, let's hop right into it. Let's see who we've got because I haven't been looking at the schedule.
We've got Reavers, which is marshaled by Lord Asher Elias. And we also have the very creatively named Asian squad. I did try and get some information about each of the teams, as I mentioned. And Alice went and said they're called Asian squad because they're all Asian. Casual racism or just low effort, I'm not sure. It's one of those two.
I like the low effort.
The low effort.
I'll go with low effort
effort
for 200, please.
Yeah, so aside from that, now, Reavers, definitely gotta say that out of all of the team rosters here, these guys are properly try hard. If they wanted to, they could comfortably field 3 teams out their roster.
Oh goodness, yeah. This looks like the cream of the Reaver's crop, and looking at their ship lineup, both teams are going to be heavily shield tanked, but the Reavers look like they're going to be fast and mean and try and fly all over and try and speed tank a bit against the Asian squad. You don't have any ship larger than a Claymore. So I think that's going to be really interesting to watch them fly circles around the Asian squad.
Yeah, I must
They're
admit,
pretty fast too.
I must admit, with the Asian squad, I'm actually, there's not really any names that I know, but that means that these guys, who knows, it's like, they could really be that kind of like a wild card. I'm looking down like the Reavers like list. I mean, you said like the best, but then I came across, I see that they've got Pokemon in there. I see that also they've got Azure and Argent, who's a terrible Enly pilot, and Hippojax, who's probably one of the worst storytellers in the Imperium.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Not only that, we've got Asher, who is the 23rd best FC in the Alliance, and unlike most teams, these teams both say they've been practicing quite a bit.
Though I think some of the teams, when they say practicing, they really mean just spying on Reavers' practices.
I'd like to say for the Asian team, for Alice Homeos as Essie, he's one of our Goonswarm FCs. He does a lot of like brooms and fleets and stuff. He's actually a really good FC, and like the people in his fleets for his time zone are really good pilots. And like I've FC'd sometimes in that time zone, and I've always found them to be exceptionally good pilots. So I mean, I think they have a tough challenge going against Reavers, because Reavers are exceptionally the best in the Imperium right now, apart from Bomb or Waffle. But they have a tough challenge. But I think if anyone's up to it, they're up to it.
Well, they've got a little better because they kicked me out, so they're in good shape.
How'd that happen?
I didn't go to last deployment. You know how that works. All right, we're getting pretty close to the next event here. We got just under a minute, I think, left here.
So what, predictions then? Who are we going to go with?
Reavers.
I'm going with the Reavers.
I'm thinking Reavers because they have the ability to tank two ways with their fast speed, low sig radius, and just the fact that they've got a lot of heavy hitters as well.
I'm going to go Reavers as well. I think that they've, Asher has probably tried everything. He's probably analyzed this fight 50 different ways.
Okay,
well, do that.
I'm going to actually buck the trend here, though, and I'm going to go for Asian squad. The reason being is because they're a wild card. Like, we don't know anything about them necessarily. So, and I've got a real thing about the underdog as well. So, it's like I'm going to have to, I'm going to be rooting for like Asian squad, and we'll see how they get on. Hopefully, they won't let me down.
We're going to see. All right, guys, we're going to move over into the commentating booth. Good.
And hello again. Here we are for match 3. This time we've got Reavers versus Asian squad. In the red team for Reavers, we have a Claymore, a Scimitar, Cerberus, Orthrus, Stalk, Caracal, and Crucifier. And on Asian squad, we have, over to you.
We've got a Bargus, a Scimitar, an Orthrus, a Navy Osprey, a Jackdaw, a Curies, and a Vigil.
Okay, so just like looking at this particular lineup here, it looks to me that Asian squad has gone with a relatively kind of typical kind of composition there. And as you would expect from like Reavers, they've got a Cerberus in there. So, Caracal, we've all seen like Reavers fly those historically.
That is right. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes down. It's going to be an interesting fight.
I notice as well that at the moment Reaver's still not on grid. It's like they are literally just like holding back until the very last moment. Typical Usher. Maybe he's cloaked up at a post somewhere. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, he's definitely going to pick his range here with the speed that he's got on the field, right?
Well, you would expect him to, always have that sense of control. Historically, he's not known for being a brawling fighter, so he will want to use range and, kind of like control an actual fight.
And here they come. Yeah, they are a bit at range.
Actually, see, yeah. Well, color me surprised.
It's going to be a little more interesting given that range, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And, we're going to see how that kind of like plays. In fact, both teams though looking remarkably even on the beacon. So we're going to see how that kind of shapes up now.
Yes, we are. Let's see, what do we got here? So our match is just about to begin.
And just so you know that once they've walked into a beacon, they're actually locked until the match starts. They can't move, they can't activate modules or anything else like that. So up until the match actually starts, there's no kind of advantage going on there. And we've got the match starting, yeah, and we're away. I'm expecting Asher to, like, from the Reavers, from the red team, to instantly be looking to get on that control. But I can actually see the Asian squad is burning back away from Reavers, and Reavers are also burning away from each other. So they've both got that kind of range control thing going on there.
Absolutely. This is a little bit of a chess match to start out here.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be one of those kind of fights where they're just going to skirt each other around each other initially, and before they actually start to get stuck into each other, just waiting for that pilot error so they can actually take advantage of that. We've already got rep drones already on the field, so looks like as is often the case now, that they're just going to run with repping drones because they're more effective than DPS ones normally, and they help out your support element.
Absolutely. Wow, I don't think we've had a shot fired yet, have we?
That's right. I'm almost like I want to uncloak and go and join in. Get them started.
I'll tell you what. They are getting close to the edge of the arena, both groups. They're each about 50K from the edge. And obviously, if you exceed that boundary, you just go boom, right?
Yeah, very much so. If you go to the boundary, as we've seen with the CTP Alliance tournament, historically, there have been people that have just went completely the wrong way there and ended up in real trouble. We're starting to see like a little bit of kind of like movement again. Reavers are looking still quite stationary. Asian squad, though, like moving a little bit around, but still not really kind of like doing anything of any particular note at this moment.
Yeah, looks like we got a little activity here. Everybody's just getting into their...
The one thing that I can tell you, that this is still probably more interesting than it is over in MTACO.
Yeah, it probably is. A little quicker, isn't it?
Definitely a lot quicker. I've been spending time over there, and locals still running 5,213, and it's like pretty slow over there. So there again, we're still waiting for them to actually become a little bit more aggressive. Neither side willing to actually take that first kind of move. They're still jockeying around the beacon there, and we do see them tentatively coming in, just seeing who's going to actually draw off that first pilot. They need to be aware, though, that obviously time is not waiting for either of them, so they're going to need to do something at some point.
Looks like the Asian squad has a few more shield rep Jones out than the Reavers do.
Yeah, and there again, we're still just seeing them edging ever so, closer to each other. We've actually got Rena in the Bargast, who's kind of like pushing in front for the Asian squad, with no one really kind of like showing on the Reavers side. Oh, there we go. Bang, yeah. He's like Kerry's. Yeah, just like absolutely straight out. And Ash's scimitar as well is like already starting to take damage there. So, they've engaged now. Reavers with the early points advantage. But boom, there we go. Yeah, Vigil gone as well. Great support ships from the Asian squad being lost there. We're going to see like how the rest of that shapes up. Scimitar of Asher still taking damage though.
Yeah, but he's getting that shield rep right back there. He's taking control of that.
Yeah, I would say that the way that the carriers of Vigil went down, and we're seeing signs of that on the Jackdaw as well, is like what they're doing is they're timing their actual shots to actually get a volley of missiles off in order to keep the Scimitar Seitu Meepo on their toes as much as possible. So they'll be looking to like switch targets a lot, and I think that's what we saw there with the carriers and the Vigil. Lots of target switching coming from the Reavers, and then one of those kind of like alpha shots from those missiles is going to be really quite devastating through to the smaller ships particularly.
Certainly, with the speed that they've got on the field right now, it's really hard to control the Reavers for the Asian squad.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, they came in, I think, with like similar ideas. But with the Reavers, with the ship types that they've actually gone for, they're going to probably have that kind of mobility advantage. Also, the one thing to note there is control bars, like really not very large at all. So, that's another interesting thing to note.
Certainly is. Let's see what we got here. What do you think is going to be the next choice for the Reavers here? I think it's going to be the Jackdaw.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised at the moment. I think now they're like flicking around onto the Jackdaw. But generally with these kind of fights, I mean, they haven't lost anything themselves. So it's normally a good idea to put pressure onto the Scimitar, and we've just seen target painter go onto the Scimitar there, because you apply that pressure to their Logi, and it kind of gives the Logi pilot more to do and more to worry about. Still big chunks of damage though going out through to Asher Elias, and we've actually got a Newt on there as well. And now we've got that grappler that's gone on to Asher as well. So that's going to like reduce the speed of the Scimitar, you would think, but it's still doing like 1,500 meters per second. It's like coming down quite a lot. He could be in a turn. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he actually picks up speed again. Equally, the Scimitar over on Asian squad is also like taking a fair bit of damage now, almost down into armor. It's like that ASB is like running hard. How many charges they have, who knows? But they're probably running short of them. That's a lot of damage they're taking.
Yeah, and the longer this goes on, the worse it is for that Logi on both sides.
Very much so. But we see a little bit of E-War being applied out to Reavers as well. So, that might actually give the Scimitar a little bit of a breathing space there. And also, it's like they're up at 2 kilometers per second. So they're definitely looking to, get away from that applied damage from missiles. I'm not sure. I'm seeing like a tracking disruptor effect on the Scimitar. Not too sure. That's possibly for optimal. Maybe do you know what? I can't remember, Eric, whether or not they were running scripts or not.
Oh, I think we're going to lose somebody. He's getting real close to the edge there.
Yeah, I'm watching
Asher's
that kind of
pushing
like
that.
no. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
watching.
he's going to
Asher.
slow down.
Yeah, it's like bait tanking. That's the way I was looking at that. Is
Yeah,
like
it could
Asher
be.
just trying to be a tease. So I expect him to go down a little bit more again. And
That scimitar's
that
down
scimitar,
into he's down into structure. He's going
he's
down.
gone. He's gone. He's like out of there. So now Asian squad, they've like lost their logi support. They need to do like a big play here now. I see that they're going for the crucifier of the pink pansy. So arguably, yeah, they're almost gone. And they just catch reps from Asher there. That was like some insane logi piloting to actually catch.
And the
Navy
crucifier
Osprey.
goes down.
Yeah, and Navy Osprey has also just been taken out as well. An Asian squad, 32-3 at the moment. 1 minute 10 seconds remaining. There's still quite a bit to like get through here, but I really do feel that Asian squad are going to have a rough time now.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything left for Asian squad. They can be picked off by the Reavers now pretty easily.
That's
they
it.
take
Well,
that authors down.
Yeah, the core of Reaver's team is still very intact. So with the Orthrus gone, it has normally good mobility, good damage. It's got a bit of self-rep there, so it's hanging on. But there again, still quite a bit into structure as well. There's only so many charges that it can do for its self-rep before it will bite the dust.
We've got about less than 30 seconds left in this match.
That's
so let's
it.
see if they can finish off that Orthrus before that is up.
That's it. I mean, that might be the only kind of like thing that they can actually finish off in that time.
And it looks like it's going to go down. There it goes.
Yeah, and there we go. Rock has become dust.
Yeah, we have 5 seconds left, so it looks like this match is. It was an interesting one.
It was indeed. It's like lots of jockeying around initially, but ultimately Reavers have 43 points. Asian squad have 3 points.
Oh, they got that jackdaw at the end.
Yeah, I think it was just boundary violation. So I've got a feeling they could have gone out that way.
And there they all go.